Well, hello there, friend. Welcome. This is Legal Design Thinking in Real Life, a weekly live series provided to you by Lawyers Design School, all about legal design and new possibilities in law. I'm Hannele, and I'm the founder and coach in Lawyers Design School, and my specialty is contract design, so I help lawyers to simplify and visualize user-friendly contracts in our courses and workshops. Today, our topic is all about how to sell contract design to your boss, overcome resistance, and get buy-in. This is an important theme as it keeps coming up in discussions. Many people are hesitant to adopt new ways of thinking about contracts. And it's human. Introducing new concepts like contract design can often be met with skepticism or resistance, just because it's new and we don't know enough about it. And at the same time, we need to modernize contracts to make them more usable and user-friendly and not let the old guard keep us stuck. We need to find ways to address the common concerns and objections and build persuasive approach to win over skeptics. Because with contract design, everybody wins. We just need to make sure that we are all on board. So let's get to it. If you have any comments or questions, let me know in the chat and I will do my best to answer them. So this is what I hear and see all the time from my students. Lawyers who are ready to explore contract design and implement the tools to simplify and visualize their contracts face a lot of pushback from people around them, from their boss, from their colleagues, and the other people on the other side of the negotiation table. They say, this is silly, or why should we waste our time and money for such fuss? Or we are busy as it is. There's no time for this kind of work. Or contracts are serious documents. We lose our credibility if we start playing with them. Or the usual suspect, we cannot draw. We are not creative, so why should we draw on our contracts? Or one of my favorites, contracts have always been this way. Why should we go on and change it if it's working for me? Does this sound any familiar to you? And I get it. Legal profession is a tough nut to crack when it comes to exploring new ways and transformation. Because we have always done things in a certain way, it can be super difficult to get people to implement new ways of working, especially if it impacts people's own everyday work. We want others to change, but we're not ready to change ourselves because it's hard. But here's the thing. The resistance and pushback is many times rooted in misunderstandings and even incorrect assumptions about contract design. So educating people on the concept and the practical implications is really important, and repeating the same message many times will gradually move the needle for you. It's actually sales work. You're selling change. So use some sales psychology here. People need to hear about the new concept at least 7 times before it starts to sink in. Now, let's look at the ways to make your sales pitch on contract design. I invite you to approach your boss and colleagues by demonstrating the value and long-term benefits of contract design. Talk about efficiency and customer experience. These are the magic words that any leader responds to. Explain to your boss that contracts can actually be the source of efficiency, a way to use less time and resources to close the deal and enhance collaboration. You can use these 4 arguments to explain efficiency with contract design. Contract design means clearer information. When contracts are designed with the user in mind, the information is presented in a clear and more understandable way, easy to understand manner. This reduces confusion and misunderstandings, which saves time and resources. Contract design means easier navigation. Well-designed contracts are easy to navigate. This means that users can find information they need quickly and easily, without wasting time searching through pages of dense legalese. Contract design means faster closure. User-friendly contracts can be closed faster because parties can more easily understand the terms and conditions and what they mean for them. Negotiations can be completed more quickly and contracts signed sooner, which we all love, which again means time savings. And four, contract design means maximizing contract benefits. With simplified contracts, all of the benefits can be realized because the content is clear and understandable. This can help to prevent disputes and ensure that the contract is fulfilling its intended purpose. Overall, contracts that are drafted with design and not default can save time and resources, reduce confusion and misunderstandings, and maximize the benefits of the contract. This means significant efficiency gains and cost savings for all of the parties. When you are selling the idea of contract design, use the language your boss understands, that we create systems that make us more efficient in our contract work. Bosses love hearing about efficient work and processes. That makes them look good as well. Another important long-term benefit from contract design is elevated customer experience. With contract design, you create contracts with a stellar user experience. It's a way to respond to clients' expectations that are changing rapidly. Clients are demanding simplicity and ease of use, and they are choosing firms and lawyers who make legal services and information easy for them. Your clients choose ease over complexity. I bet your boss is interested in customer experience because it usually means more referral customers or bonuses for quality excellence. Contracts are an essential part of your customer's journey with you, and typically they have been overlooked completely. That's because people don't even acknowledge the possibility of improving contract experience you are offering. Contract design is also brand building. You create your point of difference using contracts as a key tool in your brand. And I bet your boss did not see that coming. One effective way to sell the idea of contract design to your boss is to show them powerful examples of user-friendly contracts. Often people find it very difficult to understand the concept of contract design if they have never seen it in real life. I hear this all the time. Many people actually think that it is not possible to have contract drafted in any other way than the way we are used to. So it's natural that they are skeptic unless they can witness the power with their own eyes. So not just telling, but showing the difference between a traditional contract and a well-designed contract is the key here. There are so many examples of contracts that have already been transformed from dense, confusing documents into clear, user-friendly contracts. Draw on these examples, inspiring examples, and showcase to your boss that this is possible. Others are doing it already, and what's most important, let your boss experience the difference themselves. Okay, now that we've established a good sales pitch for your boss, on contract design, let's look at the most effective ways to communicate that pitch in your organization. Here are 4 ways to win over skeptics. First is perhaps the most important one, and it starts with you and your mindset about other people. If you feel like your message is not getting through to other people, I want you to check your own settings. Here's the philosophy that has changed everything to me. Acknowledging that people are smart, capable, and they want to do the right thing is a game changer. If other people are not agreeing with you, it's not that they lack intelligence or consideration for the changes that we need to implement in our contract work and processes. It's important to understand and respect their perspectives instead of just trying to impose our own views on them. I listened to Brené Brown on her podcast Unlocking Us some time ago, and she asked a difficult question there. Do you believe that people are doing the best they can? Do you believe that people are doing the best they can? Makes you think, right? In my mind, The response to this question speaks directly to whether you try to push your ideas on others or whether you adapt your approach to fit the situation and people involved. Over the years, I've completely changed my own answer to this question. I truly believe that at each moment, people are doing the best they can with the tools they have. It doesn't mean that there's no room to improvements or that we should settle for the status quo. But it's a kind and human way of seeing people for who they are and what kind of help or support they need. Bridging the gap to change with empathy is really powerful. Another way to convince skeptical colleagues and boss to embrace contract design is to seek dialogue with them rather than confrontation. Just think about these examples. Let's blow up the whole contract process and start over. Change all of your confusing contracts before it's too late. What you are doing is so outdated. Traction for this kind of doomsday message is very slim. I'm not suggesting that you are using this kind of language, but to give you something to think about, especially when you are trying to talk people into something new. I've given this a lot of thought myself. While I am personally drawn to messaging about disruption and blowing things up and starting over, I recognize that not everyone feels the same way. Many people do not appreciate having various threats shoved in their faces or being frightened. So it's really up to me to change the messaging and communication style to be more effective and persuasive. What this means for you is that you should stop and think about your language of change. If you're approaching people with one sided, what you are doing is wrong, that is not effective and maybe even counterproductive. People like being right. It makes us feel good about ourselves. It's much easier to get buy in with people by sharing what's common with you than trying to convince them to change their minds with ultimatums. So, no matter how adamant you are about contract design being the best idea ever, trying to force it to other people does not really work. More effective strategy is to move from manifestos to open questions and listening, taking others into consideration and going into dialogue. Find common ground, something that you share, have conversations and build on that. Design your way through. Dialogue is one of the most powerful tools for change. Dialogue is at the core of human interaction. We exchange ideas and information through dialogue. Typically, even with the most conventional people in law, we all can agree on the most pressing challenges we face. Our thoughts on how to solve those challenges may vary, but at least we have something we can agree on, and that is a powerful start also with your boss. That common ground is where the magic happens. So take the time to listen and understand the reasons behind the resistance of your boss or your colleagues. Acknowledge the feelings and concerns that people have. When you are able to address the underlying concerns, you are better equipped to find solutions together. So don't tell your boss that they are wrong. Make them see how the world has changed and what is possible with contract design. Third way to win over skeptics and get buy-in for contract design is to use participation. People commit to plans and new ideas they have contributed to. Involvement creates a sense of ownership and agency. It's difficult to resist something that you have a hand in creating. That is the value of collaboration. This is why you want to get people involved in your contract design work. If people are involved in the work, they are more committed to the outcome and your project is more likely to be successful. In practice, this means, for instance, that you organize a collaborative workshop with your boss and your colleagues to discuss contract design and what it can mean for your organization. In that workshop, you can demonstrate the value, show examples, and also look at your current contracts to create a common understanding of your challenges. So take some time to identify the key stakeholders whose opinion matters with contracts and the contracting process. Decision makers, team leaders, and key employees and involve them early on in the process of implementing contract design to gain their support. One effective tip is to identify and engage change agents for contract design inside your organization. They can help promote contract design and influence others to support the idea. Whatever you do, find ways to ensure that other people in your organization genuinely take part in implementation work. Make sure that your contract design journey is not a one person show or a solo hero journey, but a true team effort. Fourth and final strategy to win over skeptics for contract design is to start with a pilot project. Pilot project is a great way to sell the idea of contract design to your boss because it allows you to demonstrate the value of the approach without committing to a large-scale company-wide initiative. It can feel less risky for your boss. Don't go chasing the most difficult templates or contract processes with dozens of stakeholders. Find a low-hanging fruit and start there. By starting small with a simple contract, you can showcase the benefits of contract design in a tangible way. A pilot project will also allow you to identify any potential issues or challenges that may arise with contract design in your organization. You can use this insight to refine and improve the approach before scaling it up to the rest of the company. Overall, starting contract design with a pilot project is a low-risk approach to selling contract design to your boss. You're able to pave the way for a more widespread adoption of contract design throughout your organization. Before we finish today, I want to leave you with one final thought. Last week in his keynote in Legal Week conference, LeVar Burton gave wise advice on how to sell change to someone. He said simply, don't be attached to the outcome of the story. Let the consequences be what they are. And I think this is brilliant advice and fits today's theme perfectly. There are all these actions that you can take to convince your boss about the value and importance of contract design. But don't be fixated on any particular outcome of the work. Once you've made your case, let the consequences be what they are. Sometimes change happens faster, sometimes slower. But it will take time, so be patient. And letting go of controlling the outcome makes it possible to find new ways that you didn't even think were possible. So there you have it. How to sell contract design to your boss. If you're interested in working with me to learn contract design, I have good news for you. Contract Design School is coming and the next cohort is just around the corner. We'll have the doors open for a limited time next month, that is in April. And that's your chance to get in to start your journey in contract design with solid foundation and great support. To ensure that you won't miss anything, sign up for the waitlist. You'll also get a special bonus as a waitlister. Go to lawyersdesignschool.com/enroll. That's lawyersdesignschool.com/enroll. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the course working with me. Thank you for joining today. It was a pleasure spending this time with you, and see you next week. Bye.